I was trying to think of all the things that what's his name used to say. Seventh heaven. Hello and welcome to For Heaven's Sake, a Seventh Heaven podcast. We are your co-hosts, Lady J
and T.
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 How are you, T?
I'm great, and how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. I was a little apprehensive to begin this podcast because I feel a little at sea. I don't quite know everything that happens in this episode.
We'll help each other.
Yeah, I feel like we'll save each other.
Yeah,
from
hopefully.
The wilderness.
What is this episode again? No kidding.
Imagine the next 40 minutes is us trying to like figure it out.
What's happening?
I mean, isn't that every episode?
Pretty much.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we should just dive in.
Let's do it.
Okay. So this is episode 903, titled The Song of Lucy,
Okay.
which feels like a reference to something. I guess so. What, Song of Solomon?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's what Lucy references at the end, right?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly that.
So it's the Song of Lucy, which, knowing nothing about the Bible, like I don't know what the Song of Solomon is. So doesn't really like work on me. Like I don't know what I'm supposed to think of or be invoked by this title.
Same. And I remember I put a note down, read this.
Yeah. Look into it.
You know,
research.
Yeah. Didn't.
Nope.
Because life is hard.
I mean, I don't blame you.
You know,
I'm usually the one that researches a lot, and
Yeah.
I didn't even do it for this episode, so I do not put that on you at all.
No, it's just, man. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I did research and I wish I like looked into this and be like, oh yeah, I know what the fuck she's talking about. Nope.
Nope.com.
Sorry. I tried, but sorry.
So, actually, you know what? Before we get into it, I do want to give a quick shout out and thank you to our newest Patreon subscriber, Cheryl.
Ooh. Oh, cool. Hey, what's up, Cheryl?
Yeah, I mean, I hope she doesn't mind her name being on blast, but whatever. It's too late now.
I'm going to call you Shauna.
There you go. Noise. Anyway, so huge thank you to Cheryl. We really appreciate your support. Okay, enough of that. So, The Song of Lucy. The Amazon Prime spoilie is very sweet, actually. Lucy gives her first sermon.
Oh.
That's it.
Okay, cool.
The DVD description, as it is wont to do, goes a little bit further and tells us Eric offers Lucy the job of associate pastor, then asks her to give the sermon. While Ruthie meets a boy in detention, Simon agrees to see a therapist.
Okay.
So, I honestly, I don't know what this episode, it opens with what can be described as, the craziest dream sequence that ever existed in television history.
I know.
It's quite insane.
And first of all, okay, so it starts off with the dream, right?
Yeah.
Lucy, can you have a better dream?
It's not her dream. It's Kevin's dream.
Yes, it's
That's
Kevin's.
the bonkers part.
Yeah.
You assume it's Lucy's dream because it features Lucy and only Lucy, plus like 15 kids or so.
Yeah, seriously.
But
Soccer team.
You assume it's Lucy's dream, and then Kevin's the one that's fucking dreaming it.
But what I find funny is like, Kevin, you didn't dream about your own backyard. It's still at the camping house.
I know. That's the greatest part. Is even in his dreams, they're living in the fucking garage apartment. It's too clutch.
I know.
I love it.
I was like, okay, so you still don't have a backyard with all those kids. Cool.
Amazing. Like they couldn't spring for a different set. They could not spring for a different set.
Dude, they didn't have the budget. The check's didn't go through.
Yeah. Clearly the show was not doing well 9 seasons in. So it's this crazy dream sequence. Ruthie's like doing laundry, which hilarious. I'm like, what? You don't even have a dryer in this dream sequence? Like, we know the Camdens have a dryer, if nothing else. Like, what is happening?
She's a bandana
She's like hanging laundry, singing "The Coal Miner's Daughter."
Yeah.
And she's literally got like 15 kids. of like the same age.
Thank you.
How did she have these kids? Are they like, did she have quintuplets? Like, what is happening?
Hey man, it's the Camdens. They just adopt all the time.
That's true too. So anyway, so like he wakes up with a start, and Lucy's like, oh, steak and eggs or whatever she
Yeah,
says.
dude.
So
She's like, since you're up,
yeah. So he's like, I'm gonna go make steak and eggs, I guess.
that doesn't sound like a nice midnight snack. I'm not gonna
Actually,
lie.
I do like steak and eggs for breakfast, but I can't imagine having it at like 2 a.m. Although I don't know, pregnancy cravings being what they are,
Yeah.
like I guess it doesn't matter. Whatever. You guys, honestly, that plot point is nothing. Like,
Yeah.
it leads to nothing.
Nothing.
I wish I could say this episode is about Kevin's like crisis of faith,
I
or
thought
or like
so.
some weird shit he's going through. Not at all.
I thought it was gonna go there, but
Not
it
at all.
didn't.
Kevin's not even in this episode, you guys. Like.
Only to be like,
In one scene with Lucy.
Yeah, to
and
be
it's
her
about
mirror.
Lucy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's so stupid. Like, I wish I could say it meant anything, but it doesn't.
God, you start something, finish it, bro.
I mean, is it too much to ask to have just like normal television, like with
Yeah.
the show, like just like, you know, the things that are normal in telling a story, you know, just like the basics of television 101. Could you do it?
Yeah.
I guess not, because it's Seventh Heaven.
And why not give Kevin a little bit of a story here?
Honestly, this is rife. Like, especially after the last episode where he's struggling with like,
Yeah, not being there for her.
exactly, and like, where's my place in this pregnancy or whatever. Like, perfect, like, great transition. Now this episode focuses on Kevin and like
Yeah.
his thoughts and what he's going through or whatever. Nope,
But no.
not at all.
Just
useless.
Just arm candy. That's all it
And
is.
a song to boot. Like, do we need to? Here's what it is, and this is the truth. Actually, I mean, I don't know this because I didn't research it. Shocker, but I feel like I know this. Like, so around this time is when Beverly Mitchell released an album. True story.
What?
Y'all. Look it the fuck up. There's a Beverly Mitchell album on Spotify that you can listen to for real. So
it?
I really
Whoa,
feel
whoa,
like
whoa, whoa,
this
whoa.
was like a way to like shoehorn in, like, oh look, I can sing, y'all.
Whoa.
Yeah. Did I just spring a lot on you?
A little bit, but did you listen to that?
I listened to like half of a song before I just decided this is not worth my time. And you hear her voice. That is her voice singing. It's not like a Milli Vanilli situation. That is her voice. She's decent. But
Yeah.
it's not like she's not gonna win Grammys, you know?
Okay.
Whatever. But yeah, I genuinely believe this is like the show being like, oh look, Beverly Mitchell's got a record deal, y'all. Here you go.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah. So, anywho, our 2-minute silent scene in
Yes.
this episode is Eric making breakfast. It looks okay. He's doing eggs, toast, the
Yeah,
works.
he's done pretty well for himself.
Making it happen, considering the man has no discernible kitchen talent whatsoever.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Simon comes downstairs and he goes straight for the juice. And Eric's like, I made you breakfast. And he's like, I'm just going to have juice. You know, the breakfast of champions.
Yep.
And Eric's like, okay, I guess juice is fine. Basically, we learn that Simon's going to go to therapy, right? So
Yeah.
in the last episode, you know, they set up the domino of like, I might think about it or whatever. And clearly he did. And so he's going. And Eric's like all excited about it. And kind of basically is like, and when you're done, I'd be happy to like talk to you about it, you know?
Yeah.
And Simon's like pump your brakes, dude. Like, I'm going to therapy so I can talk about it. I'm not also going to talk about it with you. Like, the
Yeah.
whole point of therapy is it's like between me and the guy and whatever. And so Eric's all like butthurt about that. But he doesn't have much time to think too much about it.
Yeah.
Because Ruthie comes downstairs all dolled up.
Of course.
And looking fine. I'll be honest with you. Her eye makeup on fleek, y'all. She is looking like a Barbie and she knows it. Okay.
Yeah.
This is officially the transition of Ruthie into like
adulthood,
like
Well, or-
adolescence,
yeah.
teendom, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. She's no longer the fresh faced little girl we've known her to be.
Exactly.
So she comes down and she's all, yo, Pops, I think I'm ready to start dating.
Yeah, man, with like such confidence.
Oh yeah,
love
and
it.
Also, how funny that, I mean, and by which I mean not funny at all, that she talks to her dad about that.
Yeah,
Like, why?
I guess she's like Lucy in that sense.
I guess so. And I guess to your point, like they have certainly laid the groundwork for it to be a normal thing in this family, for Eric to be the person you talk to about life milestones.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's like, I'm ready to start dating. He's all, no.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. But most importantly, because she immediately lays her cards on the table and is like, I met this boy in detention. He's super cool and dope, and I really like him. And he's like, okay, bye, go to school now, honey.
Yeah.
And but all of which is to say, we get this really cute little moment. Again, what I love in this show is Annie and Eric being just adult people in a room together, like, you know, whatever, sort of the sausage being made, as I like to say.
What's wrong?
Ruthie wants to date.
Harry. Sounds like a nice guy.
Did she tell you where she met Harry?
Just remember that Ruthie met Harry in detention because she herself was in detention.
Yeah, but some kids who are in detention are there for a reason, and I don't want them dating my daughter. And isn't she too young to date?
Lucy was 13 when she started dating. Ruthie is going to be 15 this year. She's growing up.
Whose side are you on?
Ruthie's.
Traitor? Have you spoken to Simon?
I know you did. Oh, don't ruin this therapy thing, please.
I'm not ruining anything. I just made him breakfast, which he didn't eat.
Simon has agreed to go and talk to a therapist. That's enough for right now. He'll talk to us when he's ready to talk to us.
Yeah, and if he's never ready to talk to us?
Well, then I guess we'll just have to accept that. Simon has to solve his own problems. All we can do is be there if and when he needs us.
Do you actually believe anything you're saying?
Not yet, but maybe if I say it enough times, I will.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like it because it feels very real, which I say a lot, but I don't know, it just feels sort of like a natural, sort of like real conversation that parents would have about their kids,
so.
you know? Not that I would know, but, you know, I don't know. I also love that Annie is like the cool one.
Yeah. She really is. She's just like kind of like, dude, just butt out.
It's not even that she's saying butt out, but she's like, she's being smart is what she is. She's recognizing that their kids are not babies anymore. You know what I mean? And that they're having that, or that they're going through like significant life moments right now, you know, and that we have to like let them have these moments. Like this is what we signed up for, you know, and we had kids or whatever. And Eric's just being a little bitch about it, as he always is, because that's just who Eric is. And, you know, she's just like kind of being the one who's like, chillax, dude. Like, especially when it comes to Simon, because arguably like Simon's deal in this episode like is kind of trumps anything else, you know, really, in terms of Ruthie wanting to date, who gives a shit. But like Simon's like going to therapy and is dealing with a lot of shit right now, you know,
which he shouldn't have to come back home and discuss with his dad. Like,
oh, certainly not. That's what therapy is for.
No, but like, Eric, you should know better.
Yeah. Especially you, counselor man.
Exactly. You're doing the exact same thing. And you found this therapist a long time ago, and you trust him.
Can I say I was legit like shocked and surprised to see Dr. Gibson?
I got excited.
I had forgotten about him. I was like, oh damn, it's the OG doctor, dude.
I'm like, Dr. Gibson, and I was like, oh, and he's single. Like when I saw him, I got excited to see him, like how I get excited to see Matt.
Yeah,
on
it was
screen.
Legit. I was like, oh shit! Like they got the guy we know, you know.
Wait, do we like this show now?
No.
Okay.
Categorically not.
No. Wait, I just, you know, I need to
know us, but at all.
I know, man. You know, good. I just needed that slap in the face.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm always here for you.
Thank you so much. But yeah, again, just to see Dr. Gibson, you're like, dude, and you lost weight. You're looking great, man.
I didn't notice he lost weight, and then when Simon said it, I was like, I guess we're agreeing he lost weight.
Yeah, and his hair grew out. I was like, oh, look at you, Dr. Gibson. Okay, cool.
He looks good. The guy pulls.
And like, you know, pulling his usual shit. Like, oh, okay, you don't need me. You're fine.
Oh, yeah, no, like the whole like, you know, reverse psychology shit, because he's a psychologist. Wait, no. Is he a psychiatrist? What's the one that can prescribe drugs?
Psychiatrist.
Then I think he's a psychiatrist.
Really? Oh.
I think he must be, right?
I can't remember.
I don't know
Really, I
either.
can't remember.
Because I also honestly think his name plaque says therapist. Like later when we see his name plaque, I legit think it says therapist.
Oh, this show, you're too much.
Oh my God, I can just imagine the writer's room like, wait, which one's which again? We don't know. Therapist. It is. Fucking A. So Simon goes to see Gibson, and as you said, he does that whole like, because Simon does that whole bullshit of like, I don't even need to be here, like whatever.
Yeah,
man.
I'm good.
Like I'm not even thinking about the accident from last year and blah blah blah. And he's like, okay, cool. I don't even work on Tuesdays, so if you don't need me, bye. Like,
yeah, exactly.
leave, you know. So he's like, okay. So he leaves, but then of course, because it's a show, like he bursts back in like unannounced or whatever. And
I guess my inner voice was saying, I'm going to hell anyway for killing a guy, so I might as well have sex. I killed someone. I committed the greatest sin that there is. I took a life away, you know? I mean, yeah, it was an accident, but somebody's dead. So it doesn't matter what I do anymore. You know, I mean, what does it matter if I have sex? If you or me. And you could be with a beautiful woman. Or spend every day and night having those kind of thoughts. You know, what would you choose? Yeah, you know, I had a sexual relationship with Georgia so I could forget that I killed someone because I thought that I was no good. Wow. Yeah, I did. I did, didn't I? I'm sorry, I've never said any of this out loud before. God, I'm insane. I'm insane, aren't I?
Oh, I can assure you, you are not insane.
I'm sorry, it just makes me laugh.
Dude, the way you cut it,
I know, I did. I cut out a lot of silence,
which is fine.
which is hilarious.
Like, you know, the reason why there is a silence so you can sit with it.
Yeah.
And then as you cut all that shit out, you're like, are you you are insane.
Oh no, I've ruined the show. That's not possible.
Yeah, it's really not possible.
No, okay, but in all seriousness, no. Like, what? In all seriousness, though, this is like a real moment for Simon. Like, he's truly like having all the feels right now because, as he says, like, I think it's the first time he's thinking and confronting himself with these thoughts and these truths, as it were. And I don't know. I take issue with the idea that he had sex so he wouldn't feel something. You know, like it feels like you would maybe go to drugs or drinking so you wouldn't feel something. Not that you would be like, I'm gonna fuck. Like, I mean, I get it. People do that. More power to you. But it doesn't feel real. Like,
I know,
in that way. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
It's almost like they worked backwards. Like they were like, okay, so he had sex. Let's explain why he had sex. You know what I mean? Like as opposed to getting there organically. You know. And I mean, I don't know, like watching him cry and shit, like that's pretty emotional and like kind of hits the nerve a little bit, you know, but I don't know. I mean, whatever, dude. We get it. You had sex. You feel bad about it. Okay. Like, welcome to the world. Like,
yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's all a little weird. I don't know how to I can't put my finger on this. It's just one of those, oh God, I don't even know what to think about this entire thing. Like, okay, show me a fucked up relationship that he turned to like deal with it. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
but
because the girl there's nothing wrong with her.
Okay, but see, I feel like the show is trying to say it's a fucked up relationship because of how he keeps saying, like, I don't even want to be with her. I don't know why I'm with her, blah, blah, blah. And so even in the beginning of the episode, right, like, Eric brings Georgia up and he's like, oh, we broke up. And then we find out they didn't break up.
Yeah, they didn't.
And then, but then for real, they break up.
Yeah.
And this is the greatest part, though, is when Simon is talking to Georgia about why this needs to end.
Yeah.
He says this.
I wasn't ready to be with myself, let alone someone else.
He's talking about masturbation, right? We can all agree. We can all agree with about that, I think.
Oh, man.
Categorically. That's no question. No, but so they have this breakup scene and then it immediately becomes not a breakup scene. Like a second later when she's in his room and Annie's like, what's going on? And he's like, well, we were discussing the possibility of actually being together without physical activity. And I was like, what is happening with these two people? Are they together? Are they not together? What is the show trying to tell me with this bullshit?
Apparently, he said they didn't get to know each other like at all.
So are we going to see more of Georgia?
I don't.
Barf?
That's what I'm getting. Because he said she makes me laugh. That's worth exploring. Like that's what he says to Eric.
He does say that. Ew.
Yeah, and so
I mean, don't get me wrong. Humor is good.
Yeah,
but like that's what you're hanging your fucking hat on. Is she makes you laugh. That reminds me of a Friends joke. If he's funny, laugh. It's so good. Anyway, sorry.
But I don't know. Even with like Georgia, dude, it's just she even admits as much. Like I don't love you either. Like I don't have those kind of feelings for you. Okay, so let's try to figure it out. Let's see if we do have feelings like this, or is it worth exploring?
Classic like codependent bullshit. This is like, I don't want to be alone. I know I don't like love you.
Yeah,
and because they both admit to each other they don't love each other.
Yeah,
for real. And even Georgia, she's fucking Looney Tunes. She's like, yeah, but so like, can't we just like get there eventually? And it's like, I mean, yeah, that's normal relationship shit, but you guys have already like jumped the fucking shark. You fucking like going to a hotel room together. Like if you already are starting from that place, like there's not much room to grow. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, but like, it is what it is, you know. I'm not, mind you, I'm not trying to be the prude who's like, wait till marriage to have sex or whatever.
No, but it's just,
but it's like, if you start from a place of fucking, like, where do you go from there? You know.
Apparently, they want to figure that out.
Whatever, more power to them. I hope they're happy. I just don't want to see it.
Well, yeah, because we're not a fan of Georgia.
Also, too, like, how are they going to explain away that she also doesn't go to school? Because I feel like they're going to explain away Simon not going to school because he's going to do this therapy game for a while.
Yeah.
Although, no, because it ends with him going to school.
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole thing is all fucked up. It doesn't matter.
Well, from what Eric said, it's like, take therapy before you go to school. Like go to a therapist before you go to school, and then find someone wherever you end up going. Like whenever you end up at school, find a therapist there too. Like that's the agreement that Eric and Simon made with each other, right?
And then when Simon finally opens up to his parents, which is exactly what Annie knew would happen when he was ready, he like tells them that therapy helped. He apologizes for his crazy erratic behavior, and Eric even comes back to that and is like, I reacted terribly when I was like, I'm not gonna pay for shit. Here's a check. Like, don't worry, go back to school. I got you. You know.
And even Gibson refers another therapist on campus for Simon.
But I love too that Simon says, like, I'm still not promising I'm not gonna have sex.
Good on him.
I just promise that I will be ready to have sex the next time I have it.
Yeah.
Which, like, that is honestly the best you can ask for. Like, that is what you should ask for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
like,
that
if
shows
you're a parent or whatever.
But that also shows like a level of maturity, because he's you can't control what he does and what he doesn't do. If he is madly in love with someone, what?
I know.
And even if he wasn't, what?
I know.
Like,
it's just sex.
But besides that, he's like, I respect Simon for this, because
I do too.
I guess I can say it, like, he's a man of his word in that sense. Like,
and we've always known that to be true.
Exactly.
That is not out of character for him.
He's basically telling you, don't have high expectations that I'm not going to meet. I'm going to set the expectations on myself, and that's the shit that I'm going to meet.
T, you just fucking nailed it on the head, dude. That's exactly what he's telling his parents.
I love Simon.
You crushed it. You fucking crushed it. That's all we're going to say about that, because that's the end of the story.
All right.
I mean, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Our spirit animal, you can sit.
Bye,
now.
Simon. I feel like he's not my spirit animal anymore, though.
Well, he was when he was a baby. And then
I know, but to be fair, though, no one else is my spirit animal on the show.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, Simon is still as close as it gets. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. Fucking Simon. So, okay. So let's talk a little bit more about.
Aaron Carter?
I was gonna say. I wonder if we should save that.
Oh,
for
we
the
can
end.
totally save it. I will
No,
never.
actually, no. Let's hit Ruthie and Harry and Martin. That fucking triangle.
I kind
right
of like
now.
refuse to call him Harry.
I know, you're right.
I'm like Aaron Carter.
That's hilarious that
Aaron
his name is Harry on the show. Like, don't get me wrong, Harry's a respectable name, but it just doesn't suit Aaron Carter.
No.
Like,
With them blonde highlights?
Yeah, thank
No.
you. Oh my god, why is it when I think of a Harry, I think of a brown-haired boy?
Thank you. Same.
Okay, what is that?
I don't
is that
know.
racist?
I don't know. I think there's something to be said about like. Again, nothing to say about the name Harry, not in a bad way, but I can't help
Yeah,
but
I mean,
think-
we know a couple Harrys.
I know, but I can't help but think when I think of the name Harry, I'm picturing a buttoned up, shirt, like all the way up to your collarbone, glasses. I don't know.
Oh,
how to
you're
explain-
thinking of a nerd.
pretty much, or like just like I don't want to say well kept, but like I don't know, like preppy.
When I hear Harry, I don't think of the vibe, but I definitely picture a brown-haired boy.
Yeah, that
like,
too.
I don't know why Harry to me is a brown-haired boy's name.
And especially when Aaron Carter's like, my name is Harry. I'm like, shut up.
I know. It's also like, can you just not right now? Like, you're so extra, Aaron Carter. I don't need you. Like, this character drives me up a wall.
Yeah,
Like,
he's like, I'm gonna make sure I look really good next to Ruthie.
I can't handle his stupid ass. So Ruthie introduces him before we ever see him as this nice guy she met in detention, which
All the boys
hilarious,
are.
because they set this up perfectly in the last episode.
Where all
of,
the
like-
nice boys are, they're just
Yeah.
misunderstood.
Yeah. And also, that's the other problem I have is like that's not Ruthie's type. No, like that's not Ruthie's type whatsoever.
It's
She's
Peter.
only ever been but Peter was blonde, but he didn't start out that way. That's not his fault.
Yeah. That's not his fault. No, what
I
mean-
caught myself.
No, but what I mean by like her type, like Peter is like Ruthie, straightforward.
Yes,
And doesn't-
But I guess Harry is too. Like, I mean, he's not one to like put a facade on for the parents. You
Well,
know?
it's okay. I mean, Ruthie can have one. Like she got a guy with some swag.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like
yeah, you're right.
Let her have this one.
Let her sow some seeds, and then
Yeah.
she got with Martin.
like that guy was no good.
Yeah. But that's what's so fucking funny is like, so she springs this bullshit on Eric and then goes off to school, and Martin is like, I'm gonna keep an eye on her, and I'm all, you better. Oh,
Yeah,
you're
dude.
calm keeping your eye on that
Marking
girl.
your territory, dude. Like
Fucking A. I'm telling you, I mean, the tension is just wall to wall.
I totally have like a line saying like, "Oh, you don't like what you see? Oh, I bet you don't."
I fucking drew eyes on my notes. I was like, yeah, you gonna keep your tabs on Ruthie, okay? Like, he is watching her.
Yeah, dude.
And he's there like a fucking hawk. The minute Harry appears in the hallway, he's there.
Yeah.
Like, he came out of nowhere, dude.
As her perfect chastity belt, dude.
I mean, a little bit. But also, it's kind of hot because he's into her, clearly. He
Yeah.
doesn't even know it. That's how into her he
Yeah.
is. So,
Damn this show.
I swear to God. So, Harry, like, meets up with Ruthie in the hallway and, like, kisses her on the cheek, like, from behind. Like, she didn't know he was coming, you know? And she tells him, she's like, dude.
Yeah.
Look, I'll let you know when I want to kiss, okay?
No, I'll let you know when she wants a kiss. Look, I suggest you take your lips and keep moving down the hall.
I'm Harry. You must be Martin. Baseball player, right?
I know who you are. Just move along.
I'll see you later, Ruthie.
Don't bet on it.
I'll let you know when I want to talk, okay? It was just a kiss.
A kiss you didn't want, right?
Yeah, and I told Harry that. I don't need a bodyguard. I can take care of myself.
You don't even know him. You met him in detention. Doesn't that tell you anything?
Yeah, it tells me that he's a nice guy who made a mistake that landed him in detention. And you know what? I'm a nice girl that made a mistake that landed me in detention. So, if you're gonna judge him based on the detention gig, then you'll just have to judge me the same way.
Dude. I'm sorry. I just hearing this back with just the audio.
Yeah.
Like, Martin must do a lot of face acting because none of it is coming across in his voice.
Yeah, there's no,
Like, his voice is like, couldn't be more robotic.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're watching him on screen, he kind of pops. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't feel dead in the eyes
Yeah.
when he's acting.
Because
you
like
know?
he leans in, he's doing something with his eyebrows.
He's definitely emoting with his face because it's not in his voice whatsoever.
Yeah, I know.
Because he's genuinely like, tell your story walking, mister. We don't want what you're selling here, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like kicks Harry out the game, basically.
Yeah.
And Harry, to his credit, because he's got to stand his ground or
Yeah.
whatever, I get it, is like, okay, see you later, Ruthie. And he's like, yeah, maybe not. Like,
when
it's great.
But when he mentions like, yeah, he kissed you and it was a kiss you didn't want,
Yeah.
I thought, I'm like, oh, this relationship is doomed because Ruthie is always the one that kisses first.
Oh, that's true.
I was like, this is doomed.
Girl, you called it again.
I don't know about that, but I just like Ruthie's game.
No, Ruthie's great because, again, as we said a few moments ago, Ruthie is who she is. She is unapologetically Ruthie.
Yeah.
Like, she does not mince words. She does not play games. She will tell you what she likes. She will tell you what she doesn't like.
Yep.
And God help you. Like, you know, truly, just she is who she is. And so he kisses her, and rather than be like that giggly, like, hi, Harry,
Yeah.
she's like, listen, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, that's cool and all, but next time I'll tell you when I want that shit.
Yeah.
You know? And she tells him, and then and she's right, I think. I genuinely like think that she feels Martin's presence to be wholly just unnecessary to her
Yeah.
in this moment. Like she doesn't need him to fight her battles,
No.
protect her,
No.
be there in the fucking wings waiting for some sort of, you know, advance to be made by Harry. Like,
Yeah.
she's like, I can handle my shit. Like, I'm good, dude. Like, leave me be. I'm sorry I, you know, pantsed you or whatever, but like, we're cool now, right?
Yeah, because you got your sense of humor back.
Yeah. and I get it too, because like from Martin's perspective, I also think he doesn't know how much he loves her genuinely right now. I think that he sees her as a little sister.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I gotta be a big brother about this,
Yeah.
you know, and it's coming off a little like overprotective and a little overbearing and shit. And Ruthie's like, I don't need that from you, dude. Take a hint.
And dude, have Simon and Martin had any scenes in this?
Except their first one 3 seasons ago? No.
Right?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they haven't had any.
Martin and Matt have had scenes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this season anyway. Mm-hmm. And certainly he's had scenes with everyone else. But yeah, I don't think he and Simon have really connected.
Yeah, because
yet.
they're not bros.
No. Although, presumably, they have, or maybe they haven't on purpose because of the whole Cecilia elephant.
That bitch.
Fucking, she's not even here anymore and she's still causing trouble. God damn it, Cecilia. Pieces. Ugh. Okay, so, yeah, so then Harry, Eric.
Yeah, they want him over,
confronts
right?
Harry.
Yeah.
I think actually what ends up, you're right, because what ends up happening is they agree. No, fuck that noise. Eric confronts Harry and is like, I don't like it. Da 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 da. What's your deal, dude? How'd you end up in detention? And we learn that Harry pulled a prank where he basically Grand Theft Auto the teacher's car.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so it's a prank, but it's also a felony?
Yeah.
Like, hilarious.
Yeah.
Not.
And kid, you're
too old for this. Like, you're
Not-
also not too old for this
you're
shit.
not too old, but-
it's like, you should know better. The whole
Yeah.
thing is stupid. But the thing is, though, he admits that it's stupid.
Yeah.
But he also tries to, like, be like, it was just a prank. I'm a harmless idiot because I live in social services and I don't have a family. And sometimes I need a pick-me-up and a good laugh. And then he also says, also having a girlfriend wouldn't hurt. And I'm like, you are gross.
Yes.
Officially, you are now in gross territory. And no matter what Martin says or doesn't do and that I don't agree with, I also am not rooting for you.
Yeah,
so,
especially that stupid line that he throws to Annie. I can see where Ruthie gets her looks from.
Garbage.
I think I have it written down where I'm like, okay, I just threw up in my mouth. Like, I think I have a line for that.
It's true. Basically, he's a garbage human being. He just is. But then
I just hate characters like this. That it's like the same MO. You just give them the same stupid lines. Like, I don't know.
I wrote, what does Ruthie see in him?
Yeah.
Like truly, what is there to see? Because all we know about him is that he's a felon and he's like kind of a jerk. Like, you know, like what is there about this guy? And then they're hanging out and shit. And he like looks sloppy, like it was because she invites him to church, right? And he's wearing this wrinkled ass shirt. I'm like, you couldn't fucking steam that shit. Like, what is your deal, dude? Like, you're going to church in a fucking, you're not even wearing a jacket. Like, who are you? You know, like, okay, whatever. I'm not judging that shit, but I'm still like from the angle of like, what does Ruthie see in you?
Yeah,
you know? Like, you're not even like putting your best foot forward, like trying to like be decent, you know, like what's your deal?
I guess they're trying to make you believe that he actually is in social services. I don't know, because
right, like that's why his shirt's wrinkled because he lives out of a duffel bag. Whatever.
I don't know.
And then Martin decides he's going to be the bigger person in this whole deal, so he like agrees to give Harry the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
You know, drives them to church, all this shit, whatever. And Ruthie then says something that really, like, this is when I barfed, is she's like, I like it when you act like my big brother.
Oh.
Ew. No, thank you. Bye, Ruthie and Martin, forever.
I was like, oh, watch what you say, girl. Yeah.
Like, how did you go from I don't need you to be my protector to I kind of like it? Like, and this is where I was like, oh, Ruthie, you're so 13.
Yeah,
or 15 or whatever you are. Like,
yeah.
Like, oh, girl, like, I feel for you. It must be hard to have, like, a hot guy living in your house like a brother, though, honestly. I mean, the same shit happened with Robbie. She was young enough that it wasn't weird, obviously, with Robbie. But, like, it must be hard to, like, keep having these, like, dudes living under your roof that are like, especially now at 15 when she's like feeling all the feels, you know?
Well, you know when Ruthie said when I'm 16 I'm gonna keep him?
Yeah.
Maybe she'll keep Martin when she's 16.
Not if she sees him as a big brother. That's gross.
That's gross, but I mean,
what I mean to say is if she does keep him at 16 and sees him as a big brother, that's gross.
Yeah, it is gross.
Like, it's just too much. But anyway, so the story of Ruthie and Harry ends on like a positive note of like people are going to give him the benefit of the doubt, sort of under supervised circumstances. They can hang out, let the family get to know him a little bit better. The part that really lets Eric's like, there's sort of like tugs at Eric's heartstrings is the whole I live in social services, I don't have a family bullshit.
Yeah.
Which automatically makes him like a quote unquote sympathetic character in Eric's eyes.
And then at that moment, were you thinking, oh fuck, please don't adopt him?
I mean, I swear to God. But also I was just like, oh, so this is just going to be the Harry show. Like now it's going to be about finding Harry a family. Like that whole trope that we know this show does. Mm-hmm. But thankfully it wasn't that. But it did make Eric be like, okay, well, you can see him in the house. Which, ew. But also Ruthie lights up when that happens.
Yeah, she does.
He's like, we agreed that you guys can hang out in the house. And she's like, okay, I'll call him. Like, yeah, Ruthie, you should want better for yourself. These kids are never going to have normal lives.
Well, that's her only option as of right now.
Yeah, but so then just don't do it. Like, how is that a normal option? Like, imagine if the only way you could like hang out with boys was at your house with your parents there. Gag me.
Let's have conversation. No.
And also, can we just meta, take a step back for a second. What is it she was doing with Peter if not dating?
No.
Like, that wasn't dating? They loved, like, they had declared love to each other. They had kissed each other. Like,
Yeah.
that wasn't her first boyfriend. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, and Peter was over all the time doing homework all the time.
And they would go out, like, to the promenade and shit together.
Yeah.
Like, they were as together as 13-year-olds could be.
Yeah.
For her to be like, I'm ready to start dating. Bitch, you have been for the last year and a half. Like, what are you saying?
I know. Yeah, that's the part that kind of threw me off. They're like, Lucy started dating when she was 13. I'm like, but so did Ruthie, right?
Yeah.
She mentioned how much she
was
loved
kissing
Peter.
a boy at 13 before Peter. Remember Jake or whatever his stupid name was? She kissed that dude before she ever kissed Peter.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess kissing isn't dating, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like this is foreign territory. They're like, ooh, Ruthie and boys, what?
What? But, you know.
You guys should see the amount of emoting I'm doing right now. I wish this was a video podcast. I'm like acting all over the place. I hope it's coming across in my voice, but I might be Martin syndrome.
Nah, nenever.
So that's the story, right? That's it. Who
that's
cares?
it.
Whatever. So let's talk about the fun part. So
Which, is there a fun
Lucy
part?
and Kevin is pretty fun. I mean, Lucy, again, it's not even about Kevin. Lucy's whole thing is pretty cool. Again, Lucy as a character, crushing it this season
Yeah.
so far. Talk about like growth, narrative, plot points. Like, there's a story here. I'm here for it. Yes, queen. So
Yes, queen.
So Kevin has his weird dream, and she's like, steak and eggs, cool. And then Eric approaches Lucy and is like, so I gave you the job of associate pastor, which that's a surprise, because the last time we checked in, all she was given was a class about sex.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, she's the associate pastor. Cool. That's a milestone for Lucy. Check mark Lucy. Like,
Yeah.
that's a cool thing. I wish it would have made a bigger moment in the show. But anyway, so she's the associate pastor. And Eric's like, why don't you give the sermon this week? Like, cool. And especially because he's like, well, I was going to announce about your class at a church on Sunday, but why don't you just give the sermon and then you can also talk about your class or whatever.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh my God, awesome. And then as soon as he leaves, she's like nervous.
Of course.
Which, of course. So she's tripping. And I wrote, this feels like a test. Like, I know Eric loves her and everything, but it felt a little bit like, why don't you give the sermon this week, Lucy? Let's see how you do with that. Yeah. Like, it feels a little like nefarious, you know? So, I mean, of course it's not, but I mean,
you would hope your father wouldn't try to set you up for,
really. So then we get a few beats of like Lucy being a little overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
Like school and sermon and da-da-da. And I had this moment where I was like, oh shit, this is all leading to she's not going to want to finish school. Like, it's going to be the story of how she came to the conclusion that she needs to drop out of school because it's too much, you know?
Yeah.
And thankfully, at least in this episode, they didn't go there.
No.
But I still am, reserving the right.
Happen.
Yeah, I reserve the right to think that that's going to be a story point in the future.
I don't know. I hope she just graduates. I
do too, especially because she's so close and she seems so committed and sure she's stressed, but it feels like she's willing to bear that stress.
Exactly.
So I would hate for the story of Lucy to be that she couldn't do school because she became a mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll see. So then, she's like struggling to come up with her sermon and stuff. And she goes to her dad and she's like, okay, listen, give me like something. Give me something I can start with because I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And I don't know where to go. And he's like, all you have to do is look in the mirror.
Like, God, I hate that kind of shit.
No, but it's a good point though, because what he's really saying is in the metaphorical sense of like, like make it about yourself, like think about your life and your journey and whatever. But this bitch goes and stands in front of a mirror. Like, Jesus, Lucy, like, what are you doing? You're 26 years old. So wait, is she?
I don't know. They don't.
Okay, let's think about it.
No, she has to be
When we
younger.
met her, she was 13. So 9 years later, she's 22.
Yeah. And she's
That tracks.
finishing.
I'm going to say she's 22, 23, somewhere in that range. Okay. So still, though, don't take your father's mirror advice literally. So anyway, she's looking in this mirror, and then Kevin walks in, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And this is a really sweet little
It
moment.
was sweet.
Well, okay, let's listen to it, and then I'll give
let's
my
see.
hot takes.
Why do you love me?
You don't look to me to make you happy. You take responsibility for your own happiness. You know who you are and what you believe. It's sexy, very attractive. And I could sense from the very beginning you were never looking for anyone to define you, tell you who you should be and what you should do. I guess I fell in love with the fact that you loved yourself so much, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I do know what you mean.
And I love that even though I have more than enough money and you could just stay home and raise our children, you want to work. You want to give something to the world as well as me and our family.
I want so much to just love that moment for what
I
it
know.
is. Just, out of context, just everything he's saying. Yes, I'm here for it. It's sweet. It's nice things. And
Yeah.
he obviously means them lovingly.
Yeah.
I take issue with the fact that he wastes no time. He knows all the reasons why he loves her.
Yeah.
Which means that he's thought about it before, which is a little gross, don't you think? Right? Isn't it a little gross that he's got a list ready to rattle off of all the reasons he loves her? That he doesn't even hem and haw and kind of just be like, gosh, I don't know, I just love you, and then thinks about it and is able to list a few things he's like, okay, here's why.
It's all choreographed a little too much.
A little bit. I would have appreciated a little bit of sort of organicness in that
Yeah.
moment of gosh, I don't know, man, I love you. I just almost as if to say that his soul loves her. Because
Yeah.
otherwise it's just a laundry list of things. It's almost like he had a checklist and she checked off all the boxes,
Yeah.
It's a little mechanical, it's a little clinical,
Yeah.
it's just weird. It strikes me as weird a little
It's
bit,
true.
It's
true.
And then also too, his voice, the way he's saying it, it's sexy.
Yeah.
I don't believe you, Kevin. You literally are reading off of a checklist. Make me believe what you're saying at least. Jesus.
No one's really known for their acting on this show.
That's true. Not an Emmy to be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. But it's just the whole thing, again, out of context, the words on paper, I'm here for it.
Yeah,
But
I know.
the moment doesn't play
I know.
as beautifully and as lovelily
Yeah.
as you'd want it to. I think.
You're just that's a good list. But that's a list.
Yeah.
It's exactly that.
And the way he's and then he might as well have said in summation, at the end, it's just all so
Yeah. Did you get it?
I present to the court exhibits A, B, C, and D, I don't know.
Do you believe me now, Lucy? Okay, I have a job.
But then what's with the capper is he ends it did that help? And she's like, actually, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
did it though? I mean, I'm glad it did for your sake, but weird.
Yeah, because Lucy needed a list.
Well, no, I think what that did for Lucy is literally just give her something to think about,
Yeah.
frankly, because she was looking in the mirror and coming up blank because she's an idiot. And he said all those things. And in that moment, she was able to be like, oh, okay, yeah, the things that he sees in me are the things about me that I need to highlight in
Yeah.
this sermon or whatever, which is exactly what she does, frankly.
Yeah.
So it's actually this cute moment, she's in her little garb, whatever that shit's called,
Yeah.
the fucking judge's robe with the white
I
sash.
know.
And she's coming down the stairs with her little pregnant belly, and Eric's down there waiting for her. And he's like, oh my God, look at you. And I realized in that moment too, like, this is not her first sermon.
Yeah, it's not.
But it is her first sermon as associate pastor, so it's a milestone.
And wearing
in its own
the
right.
clothes.
That's right. What's that shit called? That there's a name for that, right?
I just want to say a robe.
I want to say, like, no, in that moment, as you were saying, in that clothes, I was like, oh, there's a name for it. In the frock, in the garb, in the... Those are just words. Anyway, whatever. Listeners, let us know. You know what I'm talking about. The covenant. No, not the covenant. The vestment. Nailed it.
Like, what's the
word? It is her first sermon in the vestments.
Yeah.
I can't believe I pulled that out of my hat, dude.
Yeah.
Can I take a second right now? I'll be really proud of myself. So it's like a momentous occasion, you know, it's her first, it's a big deal. Anyway, like, cool, like, props for her. So she goes up on the pulpit, and basically, here's how we're going to do this, right? So she gives this like 15-minute sermon. It's too long, but I've cut it up into 3 clips of like the big ideas she's talking about. Okay. So, her first clip, sort of the first idea she presents, right, is the idea that, like, you know, love is that we should love ourselves.
Yeah.
That loving ourselves is what God, like, wants of us.
Yeah.
Right.
So many of us make loving ourselves dependent upon something outside of ourselves. So many of us make being complete dependent upon being with someone else, and being fulfilled dependent upon accomplishment. But it's not someone else's job to make us happy. It's your job to make yourself happy and to know who you are. And
if you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here?
Oh.
Sorry, guys. My bad.
No. It was fucking perfect. Yes.
You guys, I couldn't help myself.
Oh, I love him.
When RuPaul made that speech at his Emmys win, okay, and he said those exact words, I was like, I need a clip of this yesterday.
I swear I got goosebumps only because I fucking love him so much.
But it's literally what she says. Like, you guys, I'm going to play the real clip right now. Yeah. And it's like, I won't because it's boring, but like, she goes, and if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love someone else? And RuPaul says that in his Emmy speech. As of this recording, the Emmys were 2 days ago, or as of when this is released, a week ago. And when he won, he ended his speech that way. And can I get an amen? I was like, honey, you are speaking all of my languages right now. I love that. Sorry, I had to do it. It was self-indulgent, but it was fun.
Love RuPaul.
So that was like the first sort of premise or whatever of her speech about loving ourselves, right? And not putting our self-worth on other external things or whatever. And then she introduces the idea that we need to find our passion and ourselves in sort of doing all of that, you know?
God wants us to know and love ourselves. He also wants us to know our purpose, our passion. Those 2 things are connected. And you cannot find your passion if you don't know who you are.
So, I mean, pretty self-explanatory there.
Exactly.
Because then she really brings it home at the end of her speech.
Yeah.
Where she's talking about, like, what it means to pursue passion and life, as it were.
Passion is what you pour into creating a life for yourself that has meaning and purpose. So I ask you, especially all you girls out there, what have you dreamt about doing? What is that thing that you've always wanted to do? I hate to say it, but as a young woman, it's very easy to get sidetracked from discovering your passion. There are actually more things to sidetrack you and not much to inspire you. But remember the Shulamite woman. Remember what she teaches us. We cannot share our passion with others until we find it within ourselves. Whatever your passion is, now's the time to experience it. Whatever your purpose is, now's the time to discover it. Whatever you need, now is the time to pursue it. Now is the time to accomplish it. Now, right now. Your passion is that thing you love. That thing you would give anything to do, to be. What you are waiting for is already inside of you. It is our responsibility to make that life happen, to make our dreams happen, to find our passion and pursue it.
I kind of love that.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I really connected to that moment of her sermon outside of the God, like the religious aspect, just as like a TED talk, you know.
Yeah,
I was like, I need to hear this. Like, this needs to be like my mantra. Like, like, and I like that she aims it at girls, at women, you know, like specifically, because she also says in her sermon that, you know, she's going to start this class, but for now it's only going to be for girls.
Yeah.
And I really connected to that idea. And funnily enough, like fucking 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this was on the air. And I feel like it's more poignant now than ever.
Right.
The idea of like empowering girls to like be impassioned and to like pursue their dreams and to focus on that in their lives, you know, as opposed to externalities and bullshit, you know. And it's like, I don't know, it was a really cool little message for this stupid show from 15 years ago.
I think,
you know,
one of my this one quote that I read was, "You were born perfect. Everything you add on is just useless."
Aww.
Which I'm like, damn, that's some powerful shit to say to yourself and believe in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to say like, hell yeah, I was born with everything. Fuck what everybody else says. Everything else, everything you add on is useless because you came equipped. Like, you are 100% adequate, and not everybody will see that. You have to believe it.
Also, so again, the Emmys were just a couple days ago as of this recording, and Maisel swept.
Yeah.
The Marvelous Miss, like, won like 8 Emmys.
Yeah.
Which, shocking no one, because it's phenomenal. But also, like, the message of that show is also like the idea that, like, you know, as a woman, you know, especially at that time, you know, like, there's a certain parameter of what you are expected to do, and also a limit of what you can be, you know. And Maisel's whole story is how that fucking limit wasn't working for her, and she broke the fuck out of that, right? And it's that same idea. It's like, you know, it's like, go fucking pursue that shit. And I mean, when she says it's our duty, she means it in the God way, you know, like it's our religious duty, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
like,
it is
she
our
means
duty.
Duty in the sense of like that religious way.
Yeah.
But if you kind of remove that religious context from it, like, and you think about like, what is the purpose of life? What is, why are we here on this fucking blue marble for 100 years if we're lucky, you know? Like, it is our duty. It's our duty to put out into the world our essence, who we are, you know? In the most purest and most like truest of ways, you know?
Like, it's so crazy because lately I've been listening to more and more podcasts, and like some of them are just the things that I'm listening to. It's like, whether they're yogis or like Buddhists or things like that, some of the shit that they say, and I say shit in like, I'm like in love with the things that they're saying. This one idea was, imagine one day everybody woke up, every single human on this planet woke up and said, I fully accept myself and love myself. I'm like, damn, we would all be so fucking happy. Because if you love yourself, you put out that like, I'm happy energy out there. Life is hard. Let's be real. There's a lot of things that happen, which doesn't let most people do that. And I get it. But again, such a beautiful idea. That's all I'm saying. It's just so good when you hear things like that. You're like, damn, that sounds so like, it's powerful.
I'd like to say something else to sort of yes and that thought, right? I was recently talking to a friend of this podcast, who shall remain nameless, but we haven't had that many special guests. And, you know, I almost gave it away. that friend and I were talking about sort of, life, like where we're at in our lives right now, and sort of, we both sort of suffer from, and I say suffer almost facetiously, but we both are sort of in this thing of like constantly thinking about like what's next, what more, and how do we continue to up our game, for ourselves, and over the course of that conversation, I kind of had this like, how sometimes like a thought will pop into your head and it's so like perfectly worded. It's almost like it needs to be a quote, like you think in quotes, kind of when that happens. And I said out loud, and I was like, don't confuse gratitude for complacency. And I said it, and then I heard it, what I mean? And it was like, oh my God, yeah, because it would be so easy to wake up one day and and say, I love myself, every inch of myself, and for that to be translated as like, so I'm good, right? Like I'm done, right? Yeah. But no, just because you love yourself doesn't mean you're not striving, you're not dreaming, you're not pursuing, and going for the next and the best and the whatever. It just means that you also recognize the abundance of the universe, man. Yeah.
No, it's true, 100%. Yeah, like it shouldn't be I love myself and I'm done. No, because that's you consciously like saying I am not going to participate. I am done. Right. I don't need to do anything. Which is exactly
not the point of life.
No, because and someone else said this: life is the best practice, and it's true. Like put your fully there, present, and like consciously doing things. Because sometimes we're just robots. There are days where you're just in that routine, and
where you're not grateful, where you're not engaging.
Exactly. And things can be fleeting, right? So is your anger in that moment of the day. It's fleeting. It's not going to last forever. It will last forever if you want it to.
Right.
If you want it to, it can last forever. But everything is fleeting. Everything is a fucking like lightning bolt. It's just... it's how it is. And so it's how you take it in and what you're going to do with it. But love yourself and be there in life and present. I think, humans can just, I don't know, we'd be unstoppable in the best way.
I agree. And Rob Bell would say that if we did all wake up one day and love ourselves, that would be heaven.
Yeah.
That is what heaven is.
Yeah.
The concept of heaven is meant to be heaven on earth.
Yeah. Exactly. And people say,
not that I'm, you guys, I promise I'm not a religious person.
No, but it doesn't, but they all mirror each other though.
I think of Rob Bell as a philosopher more than anything else. He just happens to talk about God and Jesus a lot, but the concept, the idea that, call it whatever you want to call it heaven, call it nirvana, call it utopia, whatever the fuck, like, if we all loved ourselves and put love into the universe,
that's heaven.
That would be heaven.
Yeah, and put fear out there and live in fear, and that is truly hell.
That's it. Yeah.
So, again, like we do write our story. We do. And how you want to write that story is entirely on you, and which gives you so much power.
Our duty to discover. Yeah. Right? I mean, as Lucy says, like, it's our duty to discover our thing and to pursue it. And by pursue it, I believe she means like to put it out.
Yeah. So just unlock yourself, figure it out, find your identity. I think that's where it lies in general with all humans. Like, what is your identity? Take away your parents from the equation. They are wonderful people or not. I don't know. That doesn't matter. What do you want your identity to be like, and what do you identify with? Because some of our patterns are not like they're ours, but also inherited from mom and dad because they are your first teachers, right? So it's kind of like, so who are you in the end? What do you want? Oh, cool. Then you unlock it. the passion, everything starts flowing, that creativity. And whatever that creativity is, it can be it can be in robotics, it can be in like literal color.
Creativity doesn't mean like arts.
No,
you know what I mean?
Whatever.
It means, right.
Something, that creativity of whatever it is you're going to unlock, whether it's making a fucking chair or a cork to the wine, which, yes, please. And, whatever. It is what it is.
Or unlocking the secrets of the universe by being a fucking cosmologist, whatever.
That would be awesome too.
Whoever you are, be the best of that. Pursue the best of that. Put the best of that out into the universe. But more importantly, and I think the point of this sermon and the point of this episode is find that.
Yeah.
Find that thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to give purpose and meaning to all of the rest of the shit.
Exactly. This Lucy I love.
A fucking men.
This
dude.
Lucy I'm here for, which has been sleeping since her senior year.
If this is a taste of the Lucy for this season, I can't wait.
Yeah,
dude.
please don't disappoint me.
I am
please.
so excited.
Yeah.
For more of this Lucy.
This is the Lucy that's been sleeping.
Yes.
Like that.
For like years.
Yeah.
Where has she been?
We haven't seen this one since senior year.
Yeah.
Her senior year of high school. Yeah, we haven't seen her.
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it continues on.
Yeah.
Oh,
God. Oh my God.
Please,
Fingers crossed. Lord help us. Yeah. I mean,
but I do want her to be crazy when she's giving birth. I do. I want her to be like, get out of my face, Kevin.
I don't think this show is going to waste any time showing us the birth of this kid. I genuinely think it's like whatever episode it is it will begin with the kid having been born.
Oh man, they did it with Annie.
But we never saw Annie like in labor.
Kind of.
I guess that's true. We did see her in the hospital.
You saw her sweaty.
Yeah.
Going, yeah.
Who knows? Whatever. But again, I'm here for it. Like I'm genuinely like excited for this season or the rest of it because I feel like there's a lot here. See, we're working with a lot, you know? Like this has been lacking from previous seasons. Like we're working with a lot here, man. I'm ready for it.
I know.
Like give it to me, please.
I know, but
listen, optimistic, cautiously optimistic. I'm going to listen, we just talked about it. Put the best into the universe.
But this is already done.
No, whatever.
Could you imagine like, I don't know where it's like, oh my God, these episodes, where have they been?
But Schrodinger's cat says, if we haven't seen it, it hasn't happened yet. So, we're manifesting it as much as anything else.
Get better. You can do it.
All right. Any stray observations before we rate this episode?
I just want Aaron Carter gone.
That's it? That was your stray observation? Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know that I have any.
Dude, I totally have a note saying, oh my God, Lucy's wearing the cloth, whatever.
Vestments. Watch me be wrong. Like, watch that not be the term. I'm all proud of myself.
Oh, so funny.
Anyway, yeah, I'm good. I don't have any stray observations. Let's rate it.
Okay. I'm actually going to give it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. Look at you.
I don't know. I can't hate it. You know what I mean? Even though there's some things that piss me off, but that's okay. I think it's expected at this point of the show.
Really. Like at what point do they get a pass for sucking?
Yeah. It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's some good nuggets here.
I'll accept it. I mean, I think I'm going to give it 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down.
Okay.
Which might be the first time I went lower than you did ever in the history of this podcast. But because for me, the low points are like low.
Yeah, they are low.
Which actually, you know what? I got to check myself.
Are you sure?
I got to check. I do. I am sure. I do. I am sure. I am going to check myself. I am going to give it 2 thumbs up because the low points, as I'm thinking about them, are what? Harry? Like, even he's not that much of a low point.
Is that even his name?
Yeah.
I know.
I don't believe you, Aaron.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I refuse to write Harry. I keep writing
Have
Aaron.
a better name, Aaron Carter.
Seriously.
God, he is such an Aaron Carter, though, right?
Yeah, I know.
Like, you look at that person, you're like, your name's Aaron, right? No, okay. I amend my rating. I will give this 2 thumbs up because, I mean, if nothing else for Lucy's Thurman alone, but truly though, they're really, the low points aren't that low. I mean, which was your point to begin with. Like, you know, Simon has a breakthrough. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Martin Ruthie tension, lovely. You know.
Yeah.
Lucy's sermon, lovely. So yeah, I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Solid 2 thumbs up season so far, y'all. 3 episodes in, this season is crushing it right now.
Watch next episode. Fucking hate it.
Okay, let's not worry about that right now.
All right, let's not worry about it.
Okay, so yeah, that's the deal.
Yeah, you know where to find us, right?
Yeah, all those things, liner notes, y'all know. Till next time, bye.
Bye.